So I'm doing this short vlog over the next 3 days because I've got allergy testing on Friday at my local hospital. I got referred. Actually, it didn't take that long between getting referred and getting the appointment. I'm not really sure what's going to happen on Friday, but my letter says that I have to come off my antihistamine 3 days before, so that obviously then, the reaction will be genuine and maybe not as severe. I mean, more severe than if I was on the antihistamine. So I thought I'd chart what it's like coming on off antihistamine when you've got suspected mast cell activation disorder. So yesterday I think was Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah. So yesterday was I had to work that out then. Yesterday was my first day not taking it. It wasn't too bad because I suppose the stuff's still in my system, but I was just very, very itchy, and I've got nodular prurigo, which is a skin disease that is for the last 6 months or so has been really well controlled. My skin hasn't been too bad at all, and since Tuesday it's been terrible. I have massive sores and boils and horrible disgusting things which I've had to cover up with plasters. They're special ones, they're the post-op ones, because they don't pull at my skin, but the trouble is I seem to be starting to get allergic to them as well, and they're so itchy that I'm just itching and itching and itching, and it's horrible. And I know that's a side effect of coming off antihistamine anyway, but literally my arms, my chest, my stomach, and the worst ones are actually around my breasts. They're really sore. And I've got a couple on my chin there. And my skin up here is getting bad too. I know basic stuff I've been tested for before. I'm allergic to cats, and we have cats. And I'm allergic to grass pollen, tree pollen, dust, and lactose. So I think they're doing a skin test, I'm not sure, but it's luckily in the morning on the Friday, so once I've had the tests, I will take an antihistamine. I'm on Fexofenadine, 120 milligrams once a day, but that was prescribed by my GP only after I'd asked if I could be put on it, because I've tried everything. I've been on cetirizine for a year, then I'd switched to loratadine for a year, and then back to cetirizine, and eventually it's not really helped. Then I got put on Demister nasal spray, which is quite hard to get because my GP I saw as a locum, he knew about it, and it's amazing because it's also got antihistamine in it. And I use a sodium conglomerate eye drops. But when I had an operation in June to my nose is looking wonky in this. I don't know if it's just my imagination, but basically to straighten my septum because it had grown wonky, and it still feels weird to touch it there because it's still growing back. But basically they rebuild the cartilage inside my nose because my EDS has caused that to happen, and my sinuses were so bad. I'd suffered about 6 months with really, really bad sinus problems. And now, of course, my sinuses are clear. My allergies are attacking them like crazy. And for the most part, the Fexofenadine helps day to day. I'm getting to the stage now where I'm having so many allergic reactions in different ways to different things. I'm finding foods, they give me horrifically sore throats, raw, horrible throat, headache. Feels like my throat's closing up, but it doesn't. So it's a half anaphylactic reaction, but not a full one. Itchy skin and stuff, and wheezing and coughing and sometimes vomiting, but not too often now. I used to have that a lot. And then I could be out in the supermarket and someone's perfume can set things off, or medications can set it off. Food at the moment is a nightmare because some foods I get stomach issues with, like diarrhea or vomiting, or mostly diarrhea. But at the moment I'm having reactions to things and I'm trying to figure out what, but I don't know. I've narrowed so far down to sulfides and rapeseed oil, but I'm not sure if it's them. So I'm hoping they can do general tests to see. They can do blood tests too. But I'm determined to keep off the Fexofenadine to show them how bad things are when I go Friday, because my body is absolutely itching like crazy. And my throat is really sore, and this afternoon I was sneezing so much, like 8 or 9 times in a row. My eyes were itching and watery, my nose was bad, so I went actually out for a little bit of fresh air in my wheelchair. And that really helped, actually. It cleared things, and yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little vlog each day and let you know how I'm getting on off the Fexofenadine. And then obviously on Friday I'll let you know what they do. And I won't get any results straight away unless the skin ones, I assume, must be straight. Well, once they've done the tests. I'm itching now. It's crazy. It's driving me mad. These flipping dressings are itching, but I have to have the dressings because if I don't have those, I itch. I can't help but itch the scabs, and then they bleed and rescab and bleed and rescab, and it's horrible. Nodular prurigo is not nice. But anyway, so my eyes are quite puffy and swollen because they're just been so itchy today, and I can't use anything. I have a nasal spray which is called Sterimar, I think, which I can use because it doesn't go down your nose. It just clears out your nasal passages, any allergens in there. So I'm going to use that again tonight. But I am really looking forward to Friday to get this over and done with. So I shall let you know how it goes. Bye. As you can see, I'm not doing well. My face has gone puffy, my skin is breaking into complete, I don't even know, it's not acne, it's just my nodular prurigo. I've washed my hair, which is why I'm lying on a towel. And I've got my dressing gown on because I'm freezing. And my cat's coming in. Hello, Alice. My cat, oh, this is Snoopy. This is my, like, thing. I've always had Snoopy. But now I have a Mo. I'll show you Mo. He is amazing. From the second he came in this morning, he hasn't left me. He sat on me, he's cuddled me. He hates his tummy being tickled, as most cats do. And he grabbed my finger and was like, soft paws, pushed me away, and then just held onto my hand and fell asleep. So, anyway, great news is that there is no great news. Day 3 or day 2, I have no idea. Tuesday, Wednesday, day 3 of no antihistamines with my Marcel. I got about 4 hours sleep last night, and then woke up at 4 o'clock. So itchy. I've got some of the itchy spots are massive lumps now. They're about 1 centimetre raised up off my skin. They're horrible. They're weeping and disgusting, and that's what I had in the past, but never this bad. So I got up, I kind of got some baby wipes to wipe them, and I dressed them, and then that helps not only to me not itch them, but also to stop them getting infected. I've got such a headache at the moment as well, and this morning I was sneezing like crazy. My cheeks, as you can see, are red. My lips are dry. The skin everywhere is like peeling. And then I had a seizure this morning, so yay, woohoo. It's so frustrating because I'm on these antispasm stuff which help a bit. But I'm still under no doctor for my seizures, my dystonia seizures. And I woke up freezing. Actually, no, I didn't wake up. I was been awake for a while. I'm cold now. I woke up freezing cold. Itching got so bad. I had to wake my husband up. And he kind of cuddled me because I was freezing, and he got my dressing gown and put it on me, and I was like shaking and shivering. And this is where it annoys me, because this is what used to happen before we used to call back then POTS attacks, but it's not anymore. It's dystonia seizures. And so I knew I was going to have a seizure. I felt it and told him. But I spoke to someone yesterday in the Dystonia Society, and they said, the day before I think, to try and video the seizures. And lots of people told me that. And he obviously felt a bit uncomfortable because he just wants to help me and look after me, and just like videoing me seems a bit cold and that. But he did it. He said he's got about 20 minutes worth of footage. But the thing is, it's crazy because yesterday's one was a minor one, and I don't know if we'll catch a major one, but at least we've caught a minor one. So he's back. Adam's back. And I'm not getting anywhere with hospitals, and I think coming off the antihistamines has caused the seizure, because the other seizures have been coming off the pill. Don't know if there's a link, but maybe. So not only am I itchy, but I also am weak and aching and just feel meh. So I'll update you later. So I didn't vlog the rest of that day because I felt terrible. And then the following day was my appointment at the hospital. It was at Adam Brooks in Cambridgeshire, and it was the worst thing ever. They did skin tests, skin prick tests rather, but they had loads of vials, but they only did like 12 on me, and most of them I've had tests before, and I know I'm allergic to, like grass, cats, pollen, all that kind of stuff. I had the biggest reaction was to grass, and then cats, and this thing called Alt. It's a mould apparently that is in the atmosphere, in the air, so it's like a pollen, but it happens after thunderstorms and some other thing, I can't remember. So yeah, and that was it. They didn't do any blood tests for allergies. I forced them, pretty much, to test for my serum tryptase level for mast cell. I mentioned the mast cell diagnosis, and it has been like a thing that when I went to King's College, they were pretty sure, but without doing obviously the expensive testing, they can't give a definite diagnosis. And she was basically like, oh, the allergy community doesn't believe in mast cell and all this stuff. And I've heard people say that they've had that experience with doctors before, and I was just like, I lost all respect for her after that, because she basically told me how to use my inhalers, which I'm like, I've been using them since I was 8. I know how to use that. She didn't seem concerned about my allergies to food, which is the whole point I went there, because seem to have more and more reactions, like weird reactions, almost like, I know with my gastro reactions, that's things like dairy, but things like allergy wise, it's kind of a build up of anaphylaxis, and then I never get the anaphylaxis. So like, I get really scratchy, sore and swollen throat. I start sneezing, my nose runs, my eyes itch, they swell, they're sore. Basically the reaction I have to cats, but with food. So for me, I know it's onions, garlic, pre-packed, like already cooked chicken, any meats like that. And I'm getting more and more allergic to stuff like that, and I don't know exactly what it is or how to find out. And that's the whole reason I was going there. So they didn't test that. She didn't give me any advice on how to avoid things. Obviously, keep on with the antihistamines and all that. It was pretty horrific. I was there for so long as well, and the blood test place I went to was awful. It was not wheelchair accessible. The staff were rude. It was just the worst experience, and I'm really upset because I'm still no nearer. But I do have a lifeline in my ENT surgeon. When I last saw him, because he deals with obviously nose and throat, I'm having issues with allergies. He did actually say that that if I have continued allergy issues after the hay fever season, which for me that's finished, that he would do some allergy testing for me, and I will make sure they're testing for blood tests for the food, because I know that you can do it. I've had that before. That's how they knew, that my dairy was an intolerance. They got it in a blood test. So I don't know. Anyway, I did take some pictures when I said on my last vlog that my skin, my nodular prurigo, had really flared up, which it had. And I can only find one, and it's not particularly great. So I thought, this is like, my skin is way better than it was. But I thought I'd show you what happened. Coming off the Fexofenadine, my skin broke out into massive lumps and sores and was itching and weeping and bleeding. And the trouble with it is that even, like, I'll cover it up and then it'll come off and then it'll be fine. And then, like, overnight, it will stick to your clothes. And if you even turn over, it rubs on your clothes. The scab falls off. Whether that's nodular prurigo or because of my ADS, I don't know. And then rebleeds and sticks to your clothes, and then you move your clothes and that pulls off the scab again. It's like a never-ending circle. So this is my arm at the moment. These are actually a lot better than they were. The worst one is probably that one on the top there. And then this arm is pretty, that one's a nasty one. And I've got, I can't reach to show you. Oh, there you go. There's one there. My face isn't too bad. I've got that one still and this one still, and they're itchy lumps. They're not acne. And then I have multiple ones down on my chest, which I won't show you. And then this arm is pretty bad. That's my tattoo, my zebra tattoo. The middle of the zebra's got a huge scab, and these are all scabs. And none of these were there before I came off the Fexofenadine. I'd had a good couple of months with no scars or scabs or anything. So I really don't know. There must be a link with the antihistamine going out my system and my skin obviously itching. So I'm going to take pictures of what is left today to show them. I was under dermatology at Addenbrooke's, but they discharged me because I was doing so well. And now it's like, I don't know whether it will just clear up again or whether I have to go back. But coming for Fexofenadine, I'm never ever doing again. Even if they say that I have to, I'm not coming off it, because those were the worst 3 days that I've had in years, like in terms of itching, feeling like crazy. And the sores now, I'm still like, we're over a week, we're like 10 days on, and I'm still really sore. So yeah, so that's it really. Yeah. Not a nice experience, but I thought I'd vlog it because it's important to know what it's like. So there you go. Bye.